fun piece of trivia for you. We watched the Muppet Christmas Carol with Michael Caine was Scrooge in that.
He did a great
He did
job.
such an amazing job. Oh my gosh. Michelle had seen that movie when she was in her 20s, like she said before, and as we were watching it, she's like, there used to be a song there. I love that song. Why isn't that song there? And of course, me being the weirdo that I am, I had to Google it as I'm watching the movie. And anyway, apparently, the director...
Now the song is The Love Is Gone.
Yeah, The Love Is Gone. Or When the Love Is Gone.
When the Love Is Gone.
When the Love Is Gone. And the director was Jim Henson's nephew,
Brian Henson.
Brian Henson. And something happened with that cut. I think he cut it because he thought it wouldn't appeal to the young kids that would be watching it, but then he changed his mind later on and wanted to add it to later versions, and they couldn't find it. It was missing, it was lost, and he was like heartbroken and just, he kept telling them every year, I guess, he'd call and say, have you found it yet? Have you found it yet? To the point where the production company actually put a team together to find this one scene and song. And then when he was going in to view the DVD version that they were setting up, DVD or, the anniversary version,
Probably the 30th anniversary.
30th anniversary?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, they're probably around there.
They didn't tell him until he got there. He was there to watch the movie, and they said, oh, and by the way, look what we found, and they played it for him, and he was like, ah! So I thought that was really cool. It's going to be and it was another cool thing. They updated that article a couple hours before I Googled it.
Weird, right?
That was weird, but they mentioned in it. We were watching it on Disney Plus, and they mentioned that they don't think they might not be able to add it in time for Christmas on Disney Plus, but it will be added. And I'm like, okay, well they didn't add it yet. We should check next time. We should check before Christmas. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. So we found the song on YouTube, and I played it for her after the movie as a surprise.
That was the song where you see some of Scrooge's regret about decisions he made, especially with his fiancée and how his life had gone since then. And it's just it's such a, but you know, like it said in the article, he thought it was too melancholy a song or something.
Kids. He didn't think it was suitable for a game for the audience.
Right. But the thing about the Muppets is they're not specifically just a child oriented kind of
he might have thought
media.
they were then, because when that movie came out, the kids that watched it the people that watched it when they were kids were just in their 20s then. So he didn't maybe realize that those kids that are now grown up would still be fans and wanting to watch it.
Yeah.
So that might have been what made him think, oh, well, maybe I should put that back, and then where is it?
But you know, they're still fans, and they would have taken their children to, I didn't have kids at the time, but they would have taken their children to see it because it's the Muppets.
Yeah.
You know? Something about the Muppets, I really think they're timeless.
Yeah.
You know? Like, just a off the side thing, I remember like through this whole thing with the pandemic, I saw that Sesame Street was putting out videos for children to help them deal with the not being able to be with their friends, not being able to be with their grandparents, all this isolation, and how to deal with those feelings, which is something that they did very well, and also that Mr. Rogers, I think, kind of started, and he took up the torch after him, dealing with feelings and that kind of thing. He helped people deal with 9/11. He did a special thing. But anyway, I digress.
But I remember watching that though, and just before you said that there was a song cut from there, I was thinking, okay, Rizzo the Rat is being a little melodramatic here, because he was crying at the end of the scene, and it was like 30-second bit or something, and he's bawling, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem fitting.
Yeah.
And then she said the scene was cut, and I'm like, oh.
And Scrooge was so angry after that.
Yeah.
Right? Because this
Which,
was, you know, another hurt in his life
melodrama.
that he did not need to be reminded about. A hurt that he later
He didn't
keeps
want
trying
to be, but
protect
needed to
himself
be
from, right? So yeah, he needed
to be, but he didn't want to be. But yeah, you're right.
Like, hey, don't blame me, I'm the messenger.
Yeah, this is what's already happened. You can't blame me for what's already happened, for what you've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. He was a little. He wasn't over the top considering the scene that was cut out. So it wasn't Michael Caine, but it was just seemed a little bit out of place. Not a whole lot. Like they still did a good cutaway or whatever, but it kind of. It didn't take me right out of the story, but it kind of made me think, oh, well, okay. But, and then, almost like I was like, oh, did I miss something? But then I got caught up in the rest of it, and it was done. Yeah. But, yeah, I
call
really...
it a speed bump.
Yeah, speed bump, that works. But I really enjoyed that version. The Muppets were just,
it wasn't as spooky as the book. Because the book is spooky.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
I mean, it's ghosts.
Yeah. But
it's a ghost story.
But it kept to the core message.
Yes, it did, and each movie did as well. But the scene with Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim and everything, it was like when I watched that in the Muppet version, I kind of got what Susan and I always called wet eyes. An old roommate of mine. But we call it wet eyes. Yeah, we would blink moistly. We call it wet eyes. I love Trudeau. We call it wet eyes. And so Susan, I remember that.
Oh, where was I? I was thinking about it and then you were talking about the wet eyes.
Moist.
What I was thinking though was that it kept with the tone, right? And it had, funny parts. It's thinking about their audience.
Cat fight,
right? So they had their audience in mind, but there was that warmth and that love that shone through in the end. There was the regret with Scrooge, right? There was the opening of his eyes to things that he was refusing to see through his life, when he was looking at
it really well. And
the ghosts were great because in the book, the ghosts are not exactly ghosts; they're spirits, right? So, but they're there for a purpose. They're there because they care about Scrooge, because they want to save his soul, right? And others in the process,
and if
right?
He keeps going the way he is.
So there's a softness to them. They're there on a mission, but even the ghosts of Christmas Future had a softness towards Scrooge. It would put its hand on his shoulder or whatever. In the book, in the Muppet version, you see that, and I think that's a very important part. That they're not just there to scare them and put them through torture. It's a matter of you're doing something for somebody to bring them out better on the other side, kind of like medicine. You gotta rub and clean that wound before it can heal. So that's one thing that I really liked about that one, and others too. But I think that one did the best job at that.
I think the one thing that was spot on throughout the whole, like every single one, like there were two that we didn't watch obviously, but like we said, but
at least two.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, two that we know of, was that the Ghost of Christmas Future, or Ghost of the Spirit of Christmas, the Ghost of Christmas to come, Christmas yet to come, didn't talk.
Yes.
To every single one, he was just.
Except for the Mickey one at the very end.
Did he talk?
Yeah, it was played by Pete. Well, the character Pete from the Goofy movies and stuff. But he pulls out his cigar.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. Okay, so I'll
but
cut
he,
that part
through the whole thing.
Totally wrong.
Well, not totally wrong.
Okay, so through almost everyone. I forgot about that in Mickey Christmas Carol, yeah.
But he was silent until the very end. And I found it interesting in a few of the adaptations, they were tossing him into the grave, right?
Yes. I liked the analogy, or that I picked up from it anyway, in the Mickey Christmas Carol, when Scrooge McDuck was trying to keep from falling into the fiery pit of his grave, but he was holding on to the root of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the proverb that the love of money is the root of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
And he loves money, and he's holding on to this root, and it's like, you know, fiery pit below him.
Okay, so since we're talking about Mickey's Christmas Carol,
Mm-hmm.
that one was a lot shorter. That was only 26 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just cut it to specific
That was the
scenes.
abridged version.
That was definitely abridged.
Yeah, they cut a lot. There was something in the book, when I was listening to it, I was like, I don't remember a ship.
Mm-hmm.
They said something about landing on a ship, like they teleported or whatever to a
Yeah.
ship, and I'm like, that wasn't in any of the movies.
No, the 1951, that one, did do the miners. Remember?
Yeah, they did the miners.
Not miners
but not-
and as in children, miners as in coal miners. Yeah. But yeah, that family and all of them around the fireplace singing
Right.
Christmas Eve. So they
Okay.
did that, but they didn't do the ship.
There was, I mean, obviously the book is longer, not
Mhm.
hugely long, but it's longer, so they're going to have to cut things out.
Question:
Okay, answer I hope.
Was Christmas Carol a novella?
I don't know. It might have been with it being 3 hours, but you know what? I apologize. I thought that Skipping Christmas was a novella.
Mm-hmm.
It's called. It says the Skipping Christmas, the novel.
Well, isn't that novel?
But it's like 3 hours to the narration. So I was a little surprised by that. Most novels are like 8
So-
hours, or some are like 20 hours. Depending on the novel. I figured if it was 3 hours, then some it would be a novella.
Because it is a small book.
Yes,
I
but
haven't
apparently it qualifies as a novel. Maybe it's just,
So Christmas Carol is a small book as well. It's both the same length for them.
yeah. It goes by word count, but even then, could have been different back when Christmas Carol was written
Oh yeah.
as
Yeah,
to
of course, I'm sure
the
it's
length
just-
and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure if it's a novel or a novella, but I can Google it and put it up on the
Hey, if
screen and
anybody
let them
wants,
know.
if you know,
Yeah, let us know in
Make
the
a
comments.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say about Mickey's Christmas Carol?
I liked it. I
Yeah,
thought they
me
did a
too.
good job.
And it's Pluto.
Yeah, Pluto was not in. He didn't make the cut.
No, he didn't. But I loved Goofy's rendition of Jacob Marley.
Yeah, that was really funny.
When he squeezed his nose. Oh.
Yeah. Yes. They condensed it quite a bit, but they chose wisely what scenes they would do. And then they put in a couple new scenes instead of Bob
Delivered.
Cratchit not knowing
Yeah.
where the turkey came from. He delivered it along with presents and then at that time said, you know, I want to give you a raise, and added that he wanted to make him a partner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If there's some of the adaptations that we didn't watch,
Yeah.
and you want
watching
to
another one
tell
next
us,
week.
but what I'm talking about is Christmas Carol.
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
Carol. If there is a Christmas Carol adaptation that we didn't talk about it. Give us a comment below.
Let us know,
Recommend.
because we'd like to watch it.
Yeah, there's something that you want to talk about any of the ones that we've talked about today.
Yeah.
right?
Mention it in
Yeah.
the comments. Let us know. Start a discussion. It'd be awesome.
Mhm.
And I respond to all comments, and I make her respond to all comments too. Anyway,
Speaking of comments, like,
and subscribe.
ring that bell
Yeah.
so you get notifications too.
Yes, and stay happy, healthy, and safe. And I stopped doing this until you just did it, and now it's your fault instead of Zach's.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.